What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Scorch gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about EMPs. Is there something that we can do to EMPs to make them just a little bit better? Let's head over and let's talk about it. So EMPs in Rogue Company is something that kind of flirts the line of being something that is really good and really beneficial to your team, and something that is almost completely useless in the game as far as a non-lethal gadget. And the reason why I say so is you have a lot of like one-off abilities that an EMP really doesn't do much to negate the effects of that. For example, you've got the MIRV launcher, you've got the switchblade rocket. So yes, you can preemptively EMP a team, but it's not going to nullify the effects of that after the EMP wears off. Whereas you have like Trench, you have the Ronin knife, you have a couple of other things like abilities in the game where you can absolutely use the EMP to be something that is like very beneficial to your team, so that you can like negate some of these effects, right? And of course, EMPs is something that I don't see realistically picked up all that much. Like Dima has a secondary function with EMPs, right? Because he can use the EMPs to throw on someone. It does like 0 damage to them, but it still does enough to them so that they are revealed by the EMP itself. So there's a secondary function with Dima where this is something that like realistically doesn't, it kind of exists outside of this thought process, right? But you also have Dallas and you also have Scorch that have EMPs, and I would like to see other characters hopefully in the future gain access to EMPs, because I do feel like that they are something that is very beneficial to the team and very beneficial to have and to run, especially when you're running against team comps that are like super heavy with like timed abilities, right? So like Sigrid, Scorch, Cannon, rogues like that, where they trigger the ability, it happens, like Glimpse, you know, they trigger the ability, it happens, it remains active until, you know, the timer runs out or until you down them or whatever. They're really good for that. But I think that there's a secondary function in the game that could actually be used for EMPs. Now, this was an idea that I was kind of floating around where it's like, well, does this make sense for EMPs, or does this make sense more so for an additional gadget, right? Because you could put this in as an additional gadget, and I think that it would gain some use, but I also feel that it would fall in the same category as EMPs to an extent. And armor, like in the world of Rogue Company, the way that I've always kind of envisioned armor, whether it be like you know, any of the rogues having access to any of the armor, hasn't been like a physical plate that you put into a vest to negate bullet damage. I've always kind of sensed that it was more of like this shield thing that kind of like exists around you that is able to absorb some of the damage that is coming towards you. Especially since like normally whenever you have like plate vests and things like that, it's an armor replenishment system. When they did away with that and increased the armor, then it kind of removed that illusion of like, okay, this is plate armor, it's something that you can repair, or it's something that you can kind of slot into your plate, you know, into your vest and gain that armor back. If you use the EMP to temporarily disable armor, much in the same way that EMPs temporarily disable the effectiveness of like gadgets and what rogues are able to do, would that make the play rate for these gadgets go up, and would that make them overpowered? And honestly, I don't necessarily think that this would make it overpowered. I think that this would be a great way for rogues that don't gain additional benefits, such as Dima, to run EMPs, especially against a heavily armored team. That way you gain those benefits. That way you lean almost more so into using that as like a push deterrent, because those people know they're going to have less HP because their armor's going to be non-existent until that EMP cooldown cycle inevitably ends. So I think that it would be something that would really be interesting and fun and allow for some very interesting plays to happen. And of course, it would function much the same way that Fixer functions right now, right? So if you are pushing a team, you hit them with an EMP, it removes their armor. You still, like, it would nullify the damage that that characters would do to the EMP characters, so that whenever that EMP ends, their armor would come back immediately. It's the same idea with Fixer. Fixer like ignores armor in the game, right? So when he shoots someone, there is no armor damage that is done to those targets. So if you down someone like an anvil with 75 armor and they get revived, they come up with 75 HP plus any additional HP from any other means. So if they get Saint Res, then they come up with a 75 armor and then what, the 80 HP that they come up with, which still makes them an incredible force to fight against whenever you have one character that just ignores armor but doesn't break it. And I think that that's how it would balance itself out in the long run. You would have these moments where you would EMP a team and then you would push the team, and during the team fight that happens, the armor is going to come back, and that gives them basically a small HP bump and allow them to push back and turn the momentum of a gunfight. If it had a secondary function like this, I think that it would be something that would be really cool and interesting. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you feel like having an EMP that kind of like nullified armor for the set duration of the EMP would be too strong? Do you think that it's something that would actually benefit the game a ton? And would that make you pick the EMP up more if you were playing characters that had access to it, as opposed to picking it up when it only feels necessary? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Dude, he hit some shots.
I'm going. Avenge me.
Avenge me!
Oh, I'm dead. So Phantom's right here. She's
This
coming through
motherfucker's
mid.
pad is stepping. God damn it!
Yeah, she's gonna be coming through cut right there unless she vaults up.
Glitch too.
The other one's
Yeah,
here. Fuck, he's gonna pick her up, dude. He's got a
Pump
shotgun.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
We got one too.
Pump him!
Teabag him.
Let it! Pump him!
Yeah.
Let it!
Suck this robot, dude. Get you a vape. Get out of here. Take your big bro and your little bro and fuck off.
Yeah, go kick rocks, bitch. Yeah, 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 yeah.